Hey, thanks for attending this summit. Really excited for you to learn all about using tutorial videos to grow your personal brand. And so I'm really honored that you picked this session as one of the ones that you are gonna watch and learn from. There's so many amazing speakers and coaches and consultants hanging out here and teaching inside of this summit. So really looking forward to hanging out with you for the next bunch of minutes. So let's dive into it. In this session, I want to give you 5 tips to build your personal brand by only using tutorial videos. Now, at the end of the video, at the end of this session, my hope is that you walk away with some knowledge that you can apply and start using to create tutorial and educational videos as part of your own content marketing strategy. Now, before I start diving into my tips and all that stuff, I wouldn't dare to assume that you know who I am or anything about me. So let's start with that before we do anything else. So here's a little bit about me, Rob Balasabas. I'm a family guy here in Vancouver, Canada. So you'll see me there with my wife to your left and our 2 kids, Isaiah and Isabel, to your right. Professionally, now what I do for work is I work at a company called TubeBuddy as the brand evangelist. And so a lot of people, the first thing they'll ask me once they hear that is, what does that mean? What is a brand evangelist? So my job is really easy. It's really fun. Is that I help content creators out there become more aware of TubeBuddy. I want to bring our community of amazing YouTube creators together in different ways through live video interviews, in-person meetups, and events, and also connect with our users at conferences, as well as represent TubeBuddy by speaking at conferences, podcasts, virtual summits like this one, and also other collaborations with our incredible community of content creators. Now, I also have my own YouTube channel, of course. I do practice what I learn, and so I have my own YouTube channel. It's called the Social Media Club, and I create content under my own quote-unquote brand. So you'll see my videos there, and most of the content that I do create, I'd say, is 90% educational or tutorial style videos. That's really sort of my jam. Now, by doing this, it has really opened up a plethora of doors and opportunities for me to be invited to be guests on different podcasts, live stream interviews, and speaking at conferences like this one at VidCon last year, Video Marketing World in Dallas, People of Video in New York this year, Warrior Forums by freelancer.com last year. More and more opportunities are just continuing to open up for me just because of the content that I push out there. So let's start here first. Why tutorial videos? Now, I'm going to give you a big number here. 53% of people has reported that they watch 2 or more instructional videos per week. That's actually an increase of about 152% since 2013. Learning and educational content is viewed over 1 million times a day on YouTube. This is absolutely astounding numbers. And so when you're building your brand and you have 0 or very small audience base, no one really knows who you are. So the best way to get their attention is to bring value to them immediately. And so first thing you need to know about people online is that they have a very short attention span. We are all thinking about what's in it for me. That is the question that you need to answer with your content. So if the question is what's in it for me, you really have 3 choices with the type of content that you create. The first one is you can be entertaining. You can also be the second option, which is inspirational. Or thirdly, you can be educational. Now, I can't tell jokes, I can't bring a crowd to tears, but I can teach people a thing or two. So I tend to lean on being educational with my audience and the content that I create. There's actually a really interesting quote here by Phil Collins. In learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. So I love to learn, and I've found that by focusing on educational content, I've become a much better student myself. I've taken a different look at all the different processes and tasks that I do at work on a daily basis, and I've broken it down much better. I've stayed curious, really important word, staying curious, to look for opportunities to better myself, to learn more, to really dig into all the different knowledge things that I can to do my job better. So now let's jump into the 5 surefire ways to grow your brand using tutorial videos. All right, so the first tip that I have for you is to really understand and know your audience. I'm gonna pull a quote here from a good friend of mine, Nick Nimmin, also a really good friend of TubeBuddy. And big congratulations to Nick if you're listening to this on getting to the 500,000 subscriber mark just a couple weeks ago. Amazing work. So Nick has said that your audience for your videos is the same people that you're targeting for your product in the first place. If people are buying your product, then people are looking for how to use that product, how to get better at that product, things about that product that they might not know initially when they take it out of the box, when they're looking for that kind of information. So it's really important and it's really critical to understand and know your audience. If you don't know your audience, it's pretty hard to create a video that they'll find helpful. By knowing your audience, you'll be able to make decisions about the videos you create to help them get from where they are before they watch your video to where they want to be after they've watched your piece of content. Now, having some basic information helps, but the more specific you are about the person you're looking to help and having as much information about their specific problems, their reason for tuning in to your videos, what it is about your content that they liked, what they didn't like as well, will ultimately help you create a better focused and detailed piece of tutorial video content. For example, it's a given that you need to know about your audience demographics like education, age, professional organizations, associations that they're involved with, and then advance to getting to know their interests, their concerns, and their goals. But there are 2 pieces of data points that you need to understand about your audience so that you can create content that they'll find valuable. The first one is, what is their learning objective? Having a clear learning objective helps you provide clearer instructions with a more achievable outcome. The second piece of data point that you really need to understand about your audience is, how does your content benefit them? How does this benefit them, right? It's really important. If someone is going to invest time watching your video, what value are they going to take away? What is the thing that you're providing them, that value that you're going to provide to them that they will see, that they will then take and say, you know what, after this watching this video, this person really knows what they're talking about. They really helped me. Now I have benefit from watching this piece of content. I will follow, subscribe, tune in to this person's content even more from now on. The second tip that I have here is, don't worry about content over production. Remember that the goal of creating video content here isn't to create a perfect video. It's to create a video that teaches something. Too often people do worry too much about getting things perfect, okay? It's good to remember that perfect is an illusion. If you start with perfection in mind, it will paralyze your creative process and you will struggle to begin. Now let's talk about your equipment, okay? You don't need a fancy camera or even a fancy microphone with a crazy lighting setup in a professional studio that you then take that piece of content and you send it to your video editor to make solid tutorial videos. You just need your phone, maybe a window for some natural light, and maybe even just a coffee mug like this one, I don't know if you can see it, to put your phone up against so that it's standing up so that you can talk to that phone. Our friend Sean Cannell here, professional YouTube content creator who just reached 1 million subscribers literally, I think last night, says this: punch perfectionism in the face, punch fear in the face, and just hit publish, because you just got to go and put out your first videos. And the reality is that your first videos are going to be your worst videos. Listen to that again. Your first videos are going to be your worst videos. We all start out horribly, and I think that's the fear. We're afraid of putting out some bad videos. Just accept the fact that they're going to be bad and get those ones out of the way. I really love that quote. I think it's super, super relevant. I think it's great advice to just really just go for it and get the bad ones, those really bad, horrible videos, out of the way. Start learning and just jump right into it. Another good friend of mine, Andrew Can, who's the head of video content here at TubeBuddy, says so many people focus on, I don't have the right gear and I don't have the right camera, but they don't really think about, well, what's my message? It's really important. What is your message? Ask yourself right now, pause this video, and just ask yourself, have a conversation with yourself and say, what's my message? Okay? What am I trying to get across with my brand? They don't want to just be told, buy my product. If you can make someone feel something, if you can make them relate to what you're doing, that's more important than any piece of gear. And so that is a really good tip from Andrew. So listen to those two gentlemen there, Andrew Can and also Sean Cannell. Great tips. Tip number 3 here is get in and then get out. Once that video plays, get to the meat of your tutorial and deliver the value as quickly as you possibly can. This is a tutorial video. The value that your student is looking for is knowledge about the topic you advertised in your thumbnail on YouTube or in your caption on social media. They're not looking to watch you talk about your journey as a young entrepreneur or what you had for breakfast or anything like that. They want to get that new knowledge from you to help solve their problem or teach them how to edit that picture on that app for Instagram, or how to set up that new software, or how to prepare for that wedding speech, or how to craft that perfect email marketing sequence, or whatever it is that they wanted to learn from you. Then after you've delivered that meat, that piece of content that has value, don't have a long drawn out outro with a big call to action to sign up for your newsletter, or give them your one-time offer that's only happening right here in this video to purchase your high-ticket masterclass. Simply thank them for watching the video, that you hope that it helped them with their problem, and that you'll see them in the next video. Give first. Gary Vee says, I implore you to seek to be the giver first. If you can give without expectation, you've got everything to gain. It's not an easy trait to acquire, but it's certainly something I would advise everyone to work towards. Not only will it make you feel good, but it'll provide you the leverage that you can utilize if the opportunity comes knocking. My 4th tip here is don't assume, okay? Start with the basics. Keep your language really as simple as possible. Of course, you need to understand your audience. If your audience is a bunch of rocket scientists, then speak to their level, right? It's really important. That gains your credibility and respect that you need to reach those people. But if you're speaking to CEOs about YouTube marketing, and those CEOs aren't daily inside of YouTube, and their daily job doesn't expose them to those terms that you're familiar with, then make sure you simplify your language and your content to their level of understanding. Then build their knowledge from there and start bringing them to your level. Let's think of it like building a home, okay? So imagine if a truck arrived at your job site and dumped off a bunch of building supplies, landscaping material, drapes, furniture, siding, shingles, pipes, roofing material, all at once without any direction or guidance from the architect or the builder. It's the same thing that's happening with your tutorial videos. If you dump a ton of content and big words and advanced knowledge, you'll sound super smart. You'll probably be really impressed with yourself. Your audience will probably be really impressed with you too, but they won't get any value from it. So start with the basics, build that home, starting with the foundation, and then lay one brick at a time. And for number 5, lastly, ask more questions. Instead of ending your video with a very hard sales call to action, end it by inviting more questions. Because if your viewer did get value from you by learning something new, then you've also likely opened up their minds to other possibilities, other ideas that they will now be looking into and getting answers for. End it with something like this, okay? This is one of the things I do. Feel free to use it. Feel free to, create a variation of it. But this is what I usually say. I hope that that was helpful for you. I'm always looking to create more content that's helpful for folks like you. So if you have any further questions that you'd like me to create in a video down the line in the future, let me know. My dream would be to have a library of helpful tutorial videos like this one to help as many people as possible. It's a really good quote here by Socrates, who says, education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. And there you have it, the 5 surefire ways to build your brand using tutorial videos. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a direct message, or just comment on any of my videos on YouTube, and I'll get it and I'll reply to all of them personally. I love comments. I love personal messages. So send them over to me. I will reply to you personally. And also, as a gift for attending this summit, grab a free trial of any of our paid TubeBuddy plans using this particular link and start growing your YouTube channel today. Thanks again. And like I said, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.